The 1970s produced some of cinema's greatest horror masterpieces. While classics like The Exorcist and Halloween dominate discussions, countless brilliant films have been forgotten despite delivering genuine scares and innovative storytelling. These underrated gems pushed boundaries and created unforgettable nightmares that still hold up today. From psychological thrillers to supernatural terrors, let's explore the hidden horrors that deserve your attention. Let's Scare Jessica to Death, 1971.
Calling on all the spirits of everyone who's ever died in this house. Jessica.
This psychological horror gem follows Jessica, a fragile woman recovering from a mental breakdown who moves to a remote farmhouse with her husband. Director John Hancock crafted a masterpiece of ambiguity that keeps viewers questioning reality alongside its unreliable narrator. Zora Lampert delivers a haunting performance as Jessica, whose grip on sanity becomes increasingly tenuous as supernatural events escalate. The film's genius lies in its refusal to clearly distinguish between psychological breakdown and genuine supernatural threat. Rural isolation amplifies the mounting dread while exploring themes of mental illness with surprising sensitivity. The atmospheric cinematography and minimalist approach create genuine unease without relying on gore or jump scares, proving that psychological horror can be more terrifying than any monster. The House That Dripped Blood, 1971.
This house is full of sounds. The loudest is your heart pounding in the night.
Amicus Productions created this anthology masterpiece featuring 4 interconnected stories within a cursed English country house. Peter Cushing, Christopher Lee, and Denholm Elliott anchor tales ranging from vampiric revenge to deadly waxwork figures. Each segment explores different horror subgenres while maintaining consistent quality and atmospheric dread. The wraparound story featuring a police inspector investigating the house's dark history provides effective connective tissue between segments. Roy Ward Baker's direction emphasizes gothic atmosphere over explicit violence, creating old-fashioned chills that modern audiences rarely experience. The film showcases British horror at its most sophisticated, combining literary sensibilities with genuine scares. While overshadowed by Hammer's more famous productions, this anthology demonstrates the power of well-crafted storytelling and professional performances in creating lasting horror memories. Deathline, 1972.
In the depths of the city, a nightmare grows real. A sinister evil.
Also known as Raw Meat, this British horror film explores cannibalistic survivors living in abandoned London underground tunnels. Director Gary Sherman created a unique urban nightmare that combines slasher elements with social commentary about forgotten populations. Donald Pleasance delivers an excellent performance as a Scotland Yard inspector investigating disappearances near Russell Square Station. The film's underground setting creates claustrophobic terror while exploring themes of urban decay and societal abandonment. Hugh Armstrong's wordless performance as the last cannibal is genuinely sympathetic despite his monstrous actions. The makeup effects and tunnel locations feel authentically grimy and threatening. Deathline influenced later urban horror films while providing sharp commentary on class warfare and social neglect. Modern viewers will appreciate its realistic approach to horror and its willingness to humanize even the most monstrous characters. The Blood on Satan's Claw, 1971.
The satanic essence of evil wreaks violent and revolting revenge.
But it weren't human, sir. They were fur.
And it was an animal's remains.
It were more like some fiend.
This folk horror masterpiece depicts demonic possession corrupting children in 17th century rural England. Director Piers Haggard created a uniquely British nightmare that influenced films like The Wicker Man and Midsummer. Patrick Wymark stars as a judge, investigating supernatural occurrences that threaten an entire village. The film's period setting and authentic dialogue create immersive atmosphere while exploring themes of religious hysteria and mob mentality. The children's gradual transformation into devil worshippers provides genuine disturbing content without exploiting young actors. Practical effects and makeup create memorable imagery, including the titular claw and various body horror elements. The film's examination of religious extremism and social paranoia feels remarkably relevant to contemporary audiences. Messiah of Evil, 1973.
They say that nightmares are dreams perverted.
This surreal horror film follows a woman searching for her missing father in a California coastal town populated by zombie-like cultists. Directors Willard Huyck and Gloria Katz created a dreamlike nightmare that defies easy categorization. The film's disjointed narrative structure and haunting imagery create an unsettling viewing experience that lingers long after the credits roll. Standout sequences include a supermarket attack and a movie theater massacre that demonstrate innovative horror filmmaking. The atmospheric cinematography and eerie score contribute to the film's otherworldly mood while exploring themes of consumer culture and social conformity. Despite its low budget, the film achieves remarkable visual effects through creative, practical techniques. The Changeling, 1980.
Let's see, about 12 years ago. It's been with the Historical Society for the past 12 years. There we go.
Though technically from 1980, this ghost story represents the culmination of 70s supernatural horror. George C. Scott stars as a composer who moves into a haunted Seattle mansion following his family's tragic death. Director Peter Medak crafted a masterclass in atmospheric horror that relies on suggestion rather than graphic imagery. The film's slow-burn approach builds genuine dread through careful pacing and excellent sound design. Scott's powerful performance anchors the emotional core, while the mysterious child spirit provides genuinely frightening moments. The mansion setting becomes a character itself, with each room holding dark secrets and supernatural phenomena. Classic haunted house elements, including seances, automatic writing, and spectral manifestations, feel fresh through skillful execution. The Changeling influenced countless supernatural films while demonstrating that ghost stories can provide both scares and emotional depth. Dead of Night, 1974.
As night fell, something evil descended upon the town. Something corrupt, unspeakable.
This made-for-television anthology film terrified audiences with 3 interconnected horror stories adapted from Richard Matheson works. The wraparound story featuring a family encountering supernatural phenomena provides effective continuity between segments. Second Chance explores themes of fate and destiny through a mysterious antique car, while No Such Thing as a Vampire offers a clever twist on traditional vampire mythology. The final segment, Bobby, delivers genuine emotional horror through a grieving mother's desperate attempts to communicate with her dead son. Dan Curtis's direction maintains consistent quality across all segments while showcasing different horror subgenres. The television format allows for more subtle scares and character development than typical theatrical releases. The Witch Who Came from the Sea, 1971.
Come out of the sea.
She's not a witch. She's beautiful.
This psychological horror film explores childhood trauma through the story of a disturbed woman whose repressed memories drive her to commit brutal murders. Director Matt Cimber created a complex character study that functions as both slasher film and psychological drama. Millie Perkins delivers a powerfully unhinged performance as the troubled protagonist whose grip on reality deteriorates throughout the film. The coastal California setting provides atmospheric backdrop, while the fragmented narrative structure mirrors the character's fractured mental state. The film's exploration of child abuse and its lasting psychological effects feels ahead of its time for 1970s horror cinema. Graphic violence serves the story rather than existing for shock value, creating a more mature horror experience. Despite its disturbing content, the film maintains sympathy for its troubled protagonist while never excusing her actions. The Crazies, 1973.
We never thought it would happen.
Nobody gets in or out of that town now, is that clear?
George Romero's underrated infection thriller depicts a small Pennsylvania town quarantined after a biological weapon contaminates the water supply. Unlike his zombie films, this story focuses on government incompetence and social breakdown rather than supernatural threats. The infected townspeople become violently insane, creating chaos that military containment efforts only worsen. Romero's direction emphasizes realistic horror while providing sharp commentary on authority figures and crisis management. The film's low budget necessitates creative solutions that enhance rather than hinder the storytelling. Violence emerges from character desperation rather than monster attacks, making the horror feel more immediate and threatening. The Crazies influenced later pandemic horror films while demonstrating Romero's skills beyond zombie filmmaking. Contemporary viewers will find its themes of government overreach and biological terrorism surprisingly relevant. Don't Look Now, 1973.
I've seen your little girl, and she was laughing. Yes, my sister's psychic. She wants you to know.
Donald Sutherland and Julie Christie star in this psychological masterpiece about grieving parents encountering supernatural phenomena in Venice following their daughter's drowning death. Director Nicholas Roeg created a haunting meditation on grief, guilt, and perception that transcends traditional horror conventions. The film's fragmented narrative structure and stunning cinematography create a dreamlike atmosphere that mirrors the characters' emotional states. Venice's decaying beauty provides perfect backdrop for themes of death and renewal, while the mysterious red-coated figure haunts both characters and audience. The famous love scene demonstrates Roeg's artistic vision while advancing character development and thematic content. Supernatural elements remain ambiguous, allowing viewers to interpret events through psychological or paranormal frameworks. Don't Look Now influenced countless filmmakers while proving that art house sensibilities can enhance rather than diminish horror effectiveness. Modern audiences seeking sophisticated scares will find this overlooked masterpiece deeply rewarding and emotionally devastating. Let Sleeping Corpses Lie, 1974. This Spanish-Italian zombie film, also known as The Living Dead at Manchester Morgue, combines environmental themes with classic undead horror. Director Jorge Grau created an intelligent zombie story that addresses pollution and technology's unintended consequences. Radiation from agricultural pest control equipment reanimates the recently dead, creating a logical explanation for supernatural events. The rural English setting provides atmospheric locations, while the environmentalist message feels remarkably prescient for 1970s horror cinema. Ray Lovelock and Christina Galbeau deliver committed performances as protagonists, fighting both zombies and skeptical authorities. The makeup effects and gore sequences rival contemporary American productions while maintaining European artistic sensibilities. Social commentary about environmental destruction and generational conflict adds depth beyond typical zombie fare. The film's influence on later zombie movies demonstrates its importance within the genre, despite relative obscurity. Modern viewers will appreciate its ecological themes and sophisticated approach to undead horror. Martin, 1978.
My name is Martin. I'm 84 years old. People think I'm crazy when I tell them how old I am.
George Romero's vampire Deconstruction follows a disturbed young man who believes he's a vampire but uses syringes instead of fangs to obtain blood. John Amplas delivers a haunting performance as the title character whose psychological state remains deliberately ambiguous throughout. The film questions whether Martin is actually supernatural or simply mentally ill, creating complex layers of interpretation. Pittsburgh's urban decay provides realistic backdrop while exploring themes of alienation, family dysfunction, and cultural identity. Romero's direction emphasizes character psychology over traditional vampire mythology, creating a unique entry in the genre. The film's low budget enhances its gritty realism, while the innovative narrative structure keeps viewers engaged. Martin influenced later vampire films that challenged traditional conventions while demonstrating Romero's versatility beyond zombie cinema. Contemporary audiences seeking intelligent horror will find this character study deeply unsettling and emotionally complex. The film deserves recognition as one of the most original vampire stories ever filmed. Black Christmas, 1974. Director Bob Clark created this proto-slasher masterpiece that influenced Halloween and countless other films while remaining largely unknown to general audiences. The story follows sorority sisters terrorized by obscene phone calls and a killer hiding in their house during Christmas break. Olivia Hussey, Keir Dullea, and Margot Kidder deliver excellent performances that create genuine character depth beyond typical slasher victims. The film's Christmas setting subverts holiday comfort, while the anonymous killer remains genuinely mysterious and threatening. Clark's direction emphasizes psychological terror over graphic violence, creating sustained tension through suggestion and atmosphere. The obscene phone calls provide some of horror cinema's most disturbing audio content while advancing plot and character development. Black Christmas influenced the slasher genre while demonstrating sophisticated filmmaking that transcends exploitation origins. Possession, 1971.
You have someone.
Yes.
Do you sleep with him?
Yes.
This psychological horror masterpiece follows a former mental patient whose grip on reality deteriorates when she inherits a remote estate. Joan Hackett delivers a tour-de-force performance as the unstable protagonist whose paranoid delusions may actually be supernatural encounters. Director Curtis Harrington crafted an atmospheric thriller that keeps viewers guessing about the true nature of events throughout. The isolated mansion setting becomes increasingly claustrophobic as the protagonist's mental state deteriorates and mysterious events escalate. Themes of mental illness, inheritance, and family secrets create complex layers of interpretation while maintaining genuine scares. The film's ambiguous ending refuses easy answers, allowing viewers to draw their own conclusions about supernatural versus psychological explanations. These hidden gems prove that 70s horror was more diverse and innovative than mainstream classics suggest. Which forgotten film will you watch first? Subscribe for more buried treasures and share your discoveries below.